Xbox does it again. They give us more features that just continue to set apart or add to the talking points, the chatterati that Xbox is the best place for gamers. And I believe that. I believe that 1,000% right now. Someone is typing in comments, you're just a shill for Xbox. I'm not a shill for Xbox, but I enjoy what they're doing, and I think what they're doing is correct. They've added 4 more titles to stream your own game service. I think that this is the future of gaming. We'll go over what those games are. Avowed, we've got the file size. It is available. I can't talk. Sorry. It is available to preload right now. It's coming to Game Pass. I do have concerns on Avowed, and my concern is not that Avowed will be good or not. My concern is that Avowed is going head to head with Kingdom Come Deliverance, and I'm not sure it's different enough. I'm playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, full disclosure, but I'm not sure Avowed is different enough to take over or pull my attention away from that. Will I jump in and try it out? Yes. I mean, I do a YouTube channel, so I have to check in. But how many people are going to do that? And is it releasing at this time going to hurt it? Maybe if it's an average game and it doesn't meet expectations, it's good to release at this time. If it is as good as we all want it to be, it may be bad that it's releasing at this time. Let's discuss it. I actually think I would like to see more games like Kingdom Come Deliverance. I think Magic is overdone. What? What do you say? Yes, I think Magic is overdone. I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's strength, rather, is that it's grounded in a sense of reality. It is a historical fiction piece that has this sense of reality to it that I think sets it apart, and it sets it apart because everything else in the space has tons of magic and wild, crazy creatures, etc., etc. This has none of that. Is fantastic, and I'm absolutely in love with it. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Avowed, what it means for Avowed, stuff like that. Then we've actually got a news story from Windows Central that we're going to go over about, again, Kingdom Come Deliverance and how the Xbox Series S has actually helped them optimize their game. So remember early on, here's the thing, when it rains, it pours. Early on, there were some issues with the Series S, and people were saying Xbox just needs to get rid of it. It's pointless. Get rid of it. It's hurting developers. We've come full circle where now developers are saying, well, it's actually helping us. So I don't know what to believe there, but I think all it is the case of when you're early to the game and you're doing something new and different, there's going to be growing pains with that, and we've caught up with it, and now developers understand what they need to do and how to utilize the Series S to help them optimize for all of the systems. Last but not least, we have a positive article about Xbox from IGN about store slop, digital e-slop. They call it e-slop, and all that is crappy, low quality, low effort games being pushed to the top of the PlayStation, the Nintendo stores, even sometimes Steam and Xbox. But IGN, shockingly, says Xbox is doing the best job there. Xbox holds your hand, it's highly curated, and they prevent a lot of the e-slop from appearing and ruining your feed. A Nintendo Switch is the worst, honestly. The Nintendo Switch, you jump on and you're like, oh my goodness, what are all these games? I know this game sucks. Why am I being shown this in my face 24/7? So I've experienced that myself. Let's go over all of this, but before we do, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We drop videos like this all the time right here. Love hanging out with you guys, talking all things Xbox and gaming. Like, subscribe, share us with your friends. It's a good time. Okay, Xbox adds 4 more titles to stream your own game service. Cloud gaming on Xbox Game Pass. I think that we're going to start seeing regular updates to the point that this isn't even news anymore. Now, these games are not like huge monster titles or anything, but we have 4 new additions. Ritual of the Night, Bloodstained, that one's pretty big. Indivisible, Merge and Blade, and Return to Grace. The full list now has 64 titles if you own the game, you could stream it anywhere you want. I'm curious what the back end is of this. Like, is it a legal issue on why all these games can't be done, or is it strictly technical? I would imagine with games with music in them and music rights in them, that's probably the most difficult. Music is notoriously very difficult. It's why we don't have Guitar Hero anymore. It's why those games don't exist, because the music industry clamps down on you. So 65 titles in total here. Again, these are going to become regular updates where, hey, you bought X, Y, or Z game. It's yours. Congratulations. You can now stream it everywhere you want. That's going to be the new norm. That's why we're going to this console. Again, we're upfront here on this channel. We're going to this console-less world. We just are. It's a matter of time before we hit this console-less world. I think we're probably about 10 years out from it, but this is the prep that takes place in order for that. Now, for those of you that are like, wait a minute, what does that mean for Xbox? Maybe you're new to the channel here. It means nothing. Xbox is an ecosystem. The next battle in wars, in console wars and gaming wars is the ecosystem. That's why Steam is involved in it. That's why Amazon Games is involved in it, because it's an ecosystem question. It's not a hardware question. GeForce is involved with it, or NVIDIA rather, GeForce Now, which is fantastic, by the way. So 4 more games: Bloodstained, Indivisible, Merchant Blade, Return to Grace. Would love to know, has anybody utilized this feature yet? I have not myself. Any games that you own that you've streamed through the cloud, let me know what game it is and what it was like. Let me know in the comments below. Let's move to the next story here. This is Avowed. The Avowed file size revealed, preload available. Now, we have been getting news about Avowed, some hype as we build up to the release of Avowed on Game Pass. This is from Obsidian. It's been highly anticipated for the last few years. This is the big, this is the first game Obsidian is dropping since the acquisition that Xbox acquired Bethesda. Obsidian was part of that acquisition, and it's exciting. I'm very excited for it. The file size is 74 gigabytes. That's pretty standard. In fact, when you compare that to like a Call of Duty, that's actually really small, right? Call of Duty is so big. But it's available for preload, and the game drops later this week, so it's going to be very exciting to see how it does, how it's received. My question that I want to pose here is, for those of you who have played Kingdom Come Deliverance, I'm playing it. I'm in the midst of it right now. And it's refreshing. It is this game that is refreshing, and I've been trying to think, why is it so refreshing? And I think it's refreshing because there's no magic. It's not in this fantasy world. Avowed obviously is in this fantasy world. Obsidian, have done Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. They've done Fallout New Vegas. This is their bread and butter, and they do it very, very well. So I have no doubt that Avowed is going to be fantastic. But in a world where I'm playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, and it dropped last week, Avowed is a delayed play for me. And I'm just not sure. I mean, ultimately, if the game is good, the game is good. No question. But I'm going to say this. I would like to see less fantasy worlds. I would like to see more. Playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, there is this grittiness that naturally exists because the limitations of a world without magic make it incredibly difficult. Number one, make your choices matter more. Like, magic just can't fix everything. Magic just can't be, the Deus Ex Machina that fixes everything at the end. You're operating in a world that's real or feels more real, and I think as a result is more immersive. And so even though this is a new story about Avowed, I think it's going to be fantastic. It does pose the question, should there be more games like Kingdom Come Deliverance? I mean, we've had, and maybe we start to see a shift towards that. Everything happens in threes. Everything is about the latest and greatest. I mean, we are getting Grand Theft Auto 6. There's an example of a world, based in reality, so to speak. It's not really, it's fictional. I'm not saying that these are real games. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is fictional as well. But there's no magic, right? There's no over the top. It's not fantasy that it's based in. It's fictional, but it's grounded in reality. And for whatever reason, in my life, that is refreshing at this time. And that's what I think why it's a great game, no doubt, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But a part of what makes it a great game is this grounding in reality that I've not experienced in a while. I think that that's just it. I've not experienced. The last time maybe I experienced it was Red Dead Redemption 2. And that's, kind of grounded in this reality, Old West world. Anyways, it's an interesting question. I would love to know what you guys think. Do you think that Avowed is competing directly with Kingdom Come Deliverance, or do you think that they're just two entirely separate games, separate genres? Even though they're both RPGs, they're both open world, and they're not really true open world. In the case of Avowed is like an instance world. Still, it's basically open world. We can say that. Do you think that they're competing with each other, or do you think that because they're in the same genre, they're wildly different, so there's no competition there at all? We'd love to know what you guys think. Regardless, Avowed is dropping. This is the big game from Obsidian. It's going to be very exciting to see how it's received. So far in pre-reviews that I'm seeing, in previews rather, so far so good. So excited to see where this goes, how it is, what it's like. That first person, Skyrim-like OG Fallout New Vegas feel to the control system in a magical world. How does it do? 74 gigs. Clear some space and get ready. Here we go. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Speaking of Kingdom Come Deliverance, the developer, again, they've been doing a bunch of rounds on podcasts, trying to hype this game as we get ready to drop here. And developing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 for Xbox Series S, quote, helped greatly for other platforms, says Warhorse Studios. Speaking in an interview on the Iron Lords podcast, Warhorse Studios PR manager Tobias Stolzwilling noted that, quote, the optimizations for the Xbox Series S helped greatly for other platforms, adding that, quote, since you have to dial down a few things and be clever where you can with the programming, the benefits of being careful carried over to the other versions of the game, I think then helping you optimize for the game. Now, Kingdom Come Deliverance runs in single mode at 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second performance mode on the Series X and PlayStation 5, 30 frames on the Series S. So there you go. I mean, it seems like, I would say since the developer direct, but I think really it's since Indiana Jones. But you have Call of Duty, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Indiana Jones, Developer Direct, a lot of the old criticisms that used to be there. Xbox is going third party. Xbox has really, the Series S is stupid. This is a dumb business plan from Xbox. Having 2 consoles and 2 requirements and developers having to optimize. Those are starting to be muted. And in fact, we're getting compliments on them. Well, not we, but Xbox is getting compliments and saying, hey, actually the Series S is a tool that we're using to help us develop and optimize for all platforms. I think it's just a case of when it rains, it pours, and when there's abundance, there's abundance. And right now there's abundance of goodwill because of the moves that Xbox has been making for the last 6 months and because of the releases that have dropped to positive reviews. And then, of course, obviously the developer direct on top of that. When things are going good, things are going good. And right now things are going good for Xbox. So we'll see if we can maintain this, or if Xbox can, we'll see how the Avowed release goes. And that will really put a cap, I think, on the last 6 or 7 months here for Xbox and further mute criticism, I think, going forward. Last but not least, there is this news story over on IGN, and I was floored. IGN had something positive to say. Now, that's a little unfair, and that's a little stereotypical, because IGN does have positive things to say. Ryan McCaffrey is an editor-in-chief over... Is he editor-in-chief? Is that his... I don't know if that's his official title or not. He's over at IGN, and he's always very fair, I think, about Xbox. So they just have a stereotype, and sometimes they are absolutely unfair. But there's this. So there's eSlop. So eSlop is these like low-quality AI art, cash grab-like games that get pushed to the front of storefronts. Nintendo is the worst, no doubt, and complaints are mounting on them. Hey, why am I getting these games pushed in front of me all of the time? Here is what IGN has to say. In recent months, there's been growing outcry from users of both stores, this is Nintendo and PlayStation, to get some degree of regulation on these storefronts and tone down what's being referred to as AI slop. This is especially true in light of consumer complaints regarding the terrible technical performance of Nintendo's eShop. It is bad. The Nintendo eShop is bad. Also, everything's just expensive on Nintendo. So that sets it up, and here is what the analysis had to say. They go over why it's happening, what's happening. It basically comes down to how you get your games approved, whether or not you're hands-on or hands-off. And yes, Xbox is more difficult to get games approved on, but as a result, it means less of this eSlop. And here is what one publisher said, quote, I think Xbox really puts a lot of effort into their service. I would say they are tougher to launch on than something like the Epic's Game Store or Steam, solely because they have pretty high standards for their pages and are very hands-on. In my experience, he said, you work with their ID team directly to work through both your page and building certification. They truly bend over backwards for you, even if you don't see eye to eye. And it seems that Nintendo isn't as concerned, and PlayStation, they're more concerned on the technical side, not on the aesthetic side of your storefront. So that's why there's eSlop there. And I have to say, Yeah, I mean, I never knew that this was actually necessarily being discussed. It does make sense. Like I said, I had noticed it on Nintendo, but I didn't realize there was compliments out there for the Xbox storefront. So good job, Xbox. Keep it up. I agree. I've never had a complaint about the storefront. I think they do a good job, and obviously so do developers there. We're going to leave it there for today, everybody. Again, thank you for hanging out. Let me know what I missed, what you agreed with, what you disagreed with in the comments below. Again, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. I'm X1 the Gamer. We drop videos like this all the time. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.